All right, for the next few minutes, we're going to dive headfirst into this ocean of biological data. I mean, it's a whole universe of information that literally holds the secrets to life itself. And for decades, scientists were just drowning in it. So let's figure out how they finally learned to swim.
Okay, first off, you've got to understand the sheer scale of the problem here. Thanks to these incredible leaps in gene sequencing, we're finding new proteins at a rate that's, well, it's breathtaking, almost kind of scary. This isn't just a little stream of data, you know? It's a fire hose, a total information explosion that was threatening to completely overwhelm the very people making the discoveries. So get this. Just let this number sink in for a second. Over 200 million known protein sequences. Every single one is like a tiny molecular machine with its own specific job. And to put that into perspective for you, that's more unique proteins than all the books in the biggest library on Earth. The volume is just, wow, it's staggering. So this leads to the big question, right? When you're facing hundreds of millions of puzzle pieces, how do you even start to see the whole picture? How could you possibly find that one specific protein you're looking for, or figure out how it's connected to everything else, without, spending your entire life just searching? Well, the answer is this absolutely brilliant piece of scientific infrastructure called UniProt. The best way to think about it is like a giant universal library for all protein knowledge. Its whole job is to take that chaotic mess, that data deluge, and shape it into one single, organized, easy-to-use resource. I mean, it stops thousands of scientists from wasting time rediscovering the exact same stuff over and over. So what is UniProt exactly? Well, it stands for the Universal Protein Resource, and trust me, they pick those words very carefully. Universal and comprehensive, and aims to have everything we know, high quality. You got to know the information is reliable, right? And maybe the most important part, it's totally free for any researcher anywhere on the planet, which just fuels science all over the world. But here's where things get really clever. You might be wondering, how can this library be both totally comprehensive, capturing everything, and super accurate at the same time? Well, it solves this problem with this brilliant two-part system. It basically splits its collection into two main wings, and each one has a completely different job. And this strategy is just genius. On one hand, you've got Swiss-Prot. Think of this as the library's special collections. The rare books room. Every single entry in there is like a masterpiece. It's been manually checked out and reviewed by a real human expert. It is the absolute gold standard. Then, on the other hand, you've got Tremble. This is like the library's main floor, where all the new arrivals are dumped. It's automatically grabbing millions of new sequences the second they're discovered. It's basically the live, breaking news feed of the biology world. And wow, this chart just shows you the insane difference in scale. Swiss-Prot, our gold standard section, has about 500,000 super clean, perfect entries. Tremble, the new arrivals wing, has that staggering 200 million, and it's growing every day. This really shows you the trade-off, doesn't it? And for today's research, you absolutely need both. You need the perfect masterpiece from the special collection, and you need the brand new stuff hot off the press. Okay, so we've got all these sequences, and they're all neatly organized. That's great. But a sequence by itself, it's just a bunch of letters, right? It's a cryptic code. To make it actually useful, you need to know what it means. You need context. You need a decoder ring. And that, my friends, is where the real magic happens. We're talking about the power of annotations. So protein annotation is basically the super important process of attaching all the biological info we have to that raw sequence of letters. It's the thing that turns plain old data into knowledge you can actually use. It's exactly like a great librarian getting a new book. They don't just stick it on a shelf, they add detailed notes, right? About the plot, the characters, how it connects to other books. It's the same idea. And what kind of info are we talking about here? Well, think of it like a super detailed biography for every single protein. The annotation tells you its function, like what does this thing actually do? It tells you its location, where in the cell does it work? It can link that protein to specific diseases, trace its family tree back through evolution, and even give you a link to click right to the original scientific papers about it. It's all right there. Okay, let's pull all these pieces together. We've got this massive, super smart library, and every book, every protein has its own detailed biography. But this whole system isn't just for storage, It's an actual powerful engine for discovery. This is literally how we're learning to read the book of life. So at this point, you might be thinking, Okay, I get it. A giant, well-organized database, that's cool. But what's the real point? What's the payoff, right? Why go through all this trouble to so carefully catalog hundreds of millions of proteins? Well, the ultimate goal, the entire reason this whole thing exists, it's all to achieve something called functional classification. And this is the real game changer. It's the ability to group proteins together based on what they do, not just what they look like. And that creates this incredible predictive map of all the machinery of life. So here's how this actually drives new discoveries. It's a pretty logical process. First, you group together all the proteins where you already know their function. Then, you look at their code and find common patterns or signatures. And here's the amazing part. When a scientist discovers a brand new, totally unknown protein, they can compare its code to those known patterns and make a really, really good guess about what it does. This completely changes the game. Science goes from being reactive to being predictive, and that just turbocharges the speed of research. And the real-world impact of this? Oh, it's huge. I mean, in drug discovery, it helps researchers find new targets for medicines way faster than they ever could before. For diseases, it helps scientists connect a genetic problem to the one specific protein that's messing things up. And in biotech, we can find or even design proteins to do all sorts of things, from making biofuels to putting enzymes in your laundry detergent. It's truly one of the core tools of our modern world.
I mean, that really says it all, doesn't it? UniProt and other databases just like it, they're not just dusty old shelves of information. No way. They are active, essential tools. They are a foundational pillar that holds up a huge amount of all the biological and medical research happening all over the world right now. So let's leave it with this thought. That data deluge we talked about, it's not stopping. In fact, it's getting bigger. Every single day, this library grows. It gets smarter, more connected, more predictive. So the real question for the future, for the next generation of scientists, and really for all of us, is how is this living, breathing library of life's building blocks going to help us write the next incredible chapter in the story of life?